West Denver. Sleep deprived and heavily caffeinated.
All right, let's do this then.
This is the Jeff and Bill Show.
I don't agree with that.
They don't always agree, but hey, at least they have coffee.
Coffee.
And each other.
I love you, man.
God help us.
I want to bless him. We need all the help we can get.
Now here's Jeff Hunt and Bill Thorpe. The Jeff and Bill Show on News Talk 710 KNUS.
9 a.m. in the Mile High City on this Wednesday, October 15th, 2025. Good morning, Denver, Colorado. You've tuned into the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. Bill's out this week. Have a whole host of co-hosts coming in and having a ton of fun. Monday, Ted Trimpa. And yes, you can blame Ted for the blue takeover of Colorado. He's happy to embrace it. Maybe you love him for what he did, but he was the brain behind that, joined us on Monday. Tuesday was Deep Singh Badesha, a card-carrying member of the Democrat Socialists of America. Great conversation yesterday. Today, she is the founder, editor-in-chief of Westward. Patricia Calhoun is joining us here in Denver tomorrow, or in studio. Tomorrow will be Vic Vela, and Friday I've got the folks from CityCast. So we're having a ton of fun. Look, we were just talking about how the Democrats shifting left, and you mentioned both parties shifting. The Republicans I grew up with in Colorado are very different than the Republicans today. My next door neighbor was Jim Nicholson, chairman of the RNC, ambassador to the Vatican. And then head of Veterans Affairs under Bush. It worked for Bill Armstrong at Colorado Christian University. When I think of the Terry Considines that were here, just a different flavor of Republicans. What do you think happened with the Republicans, Patty?
Well, I come from a Republican family. Hi, Mom, who's listening right now. And I would say in kind of the Bill Armstrong mode. So I don't know what happened to the Republican Party. I can tell you why a lot of people decided they might have very great parents, but they were Democrat. And issues like women's rights in the 70s, abortion in the 70s. For women who came of age in the 70s, these are huge issues. And it was not one where Republicans were very supportive. So you can see where that shift was. But why Republicans, especially as women became more active outside the home, they became more powerful. The Republican Party just seemed to go the other way. Why we have trad wives, why we have the most, I would say the most, the far right, but maybe the least humanitarian of a very humanitarian party. I mean, you look at Hank Brown and you look at Bill Armstrong, and these were good men who were very kind, I thought. You know, they might have had some tough positions, but they weren't wackos. They were strong, good people.
The change that I've seen in my journey through Bush, and my wife worked for Karl Rove at the White House. I worked with Romney. I'm a MAGA supporter. What I've appreciated the change is the more willingness to seize territory that's taken place under the Trump administration. Okay, what happened under Romney and McCain to the Republican Party was a negotiated party. Like they were happy to negotiate with Democrats. What you've seen under Trump is, no, we're going to seize the land. We're going to take the issues. We're going to bring in DOJ. We're going to cut. We're going to make a more powerful executive branch. And it's a more powerful Republican Party that's willing to advance their agenda in ways that I didn't see under some of the old guard Republicans. That's the appeal to me. And I see that same desire happening within the Democrat Party. So when we had Deep Singh Badesha on yesterday, we want a fighting Democrat Party. Don't give me John Hickenlooper and Michael Bennett, who I don't even know what they're doing. Give me Mondami, give me AOC, give me Bernie, fight type of mentality that's now happening on the left. And so that critique that we're essentially two separate countries that's warring over the same land, I think is fair, because what I see both on the right as left is seize territory, advance your policy agendas, damn the torpedoes type of thing.
Well, and let's hope that that 50% unaffiliated voters in Colorado finds the middle ground, because I think those people are not appreciative of the two corners that those fighters have gone to.
Fair critique. That's Patricia Calhoun from Westward, live in studio this hour. We're going to get to Gary and Thornton in a second. Feel free to join us by giving us a call at 303-696-1971. Text us on the Dan Caplis Law text line at 720-819-5115. Now is time for news and comment with Blake Olson.
Blake Olson.
Blake Olson, news and comment.
Hey, good Wednesday morning. 52 and mostly sunny. It's sunny out there. Expecting a high of 79 today. It's kind of cloudy and rainy up north. News sponsored by Pastor Camp Heating and Air Conditioning at 303-777-1234 to learn more about special savings opportunities on Lennox equipment. Our top story.
Every single time the Republicans have voted to pay the troops, and by the way, all other federal employees, federal workers, and the Democrats have voted over and over to stop it.
Mike Johnson, the Democrats continue to politically hold Americans hostage with the shutdown. House Minority Leader Jeffries accepting a challenge to a debate from House Speaker Johnson.
According to The Hill, Jeffries told a small group of reporters on Capitol Hill that he looks forward to the debate. Jeffries previously challenged Johnson to a debate, but the House Speaker dismissed it, but is now hoping to sit down with Jeffries on C-SPAN's new program, Ceasefire. Jeffries says the two leaders are going to try to get their appearance scheduled on the show, which aims to bring people of opposing viewpoints together to discuss the issues of the day. I'm Michael Kastner.
And at 1 o'clock this afternoon in the Oval Office, DJT holds a press briefing with FBI Director Kash Patel. Anything is possible in that one. Ukrainian President Zelensky once again will be at the White House on Friday. Israeli officials claim that Hamas has returned remains of someone who is not a known hostage. The Israeli Defense Forces say that examinations based on forensic testing determined one of four bodies handed over by Hamas on Wednesday did not match any of the hostages taken by the group. Hamas has reportedly said it needed more time to return remains within the framework of the ceasefire deal, and the terrorists have handed over 8 bodies since Monday, which was supposed to be the deadline for the release of all hostages living and dead. The transfer of the unidentified body adds to yet another layer of strain to a fragile DJT ceasefire right now.
He's brave. That's a brave kid. That's amazing. Determined. Yeah, very determined. Strong, very strong.
He's a survivor.
And he's funny. He did not lose the sense of humor. Yes.
That's the medical team for 18-year-old Matthew Silverstone, who was injured in last month's shooting at Evergreen High School. He was released from the hospital Tuesday, thankfully. Silverstone confronted and fought with the suspect during the September 10th shooting and was wounded in the head and the chest. His heart actually stopped twice before he was stabilized at the hospital. Tuesday at the White House, DJT posthumously awarded Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Erica Kirk spoke as it was also Charlie's birthday. It was an emotional, heartfelt day once again. And once again, for the third straight day, 47 talked about heaven. And Fox News Channel, Jesse Waters talked about it.
Isn't it interesting how Donald Trump almost died? And then when Charlie died, the president's talked more about heaven than he ever has. Have you noticed that?
So, and then here's an example of DJT yesterday.
With whom he now rests in heaven, and he's going to make heaven. I said, I'm not sure I can make it, but he's going to make it. He's there. He's looking down on us right now. So.
Now, what kind of made me laugh about this, I remember watching Charlie numerous times joke, in his debates and tell people, look, we're voting for a president, not a pastor. Okay. And I'm just laughing because I think if Charlie were alive, he would remind President Trump that, look, John 3:16, you see it everywhere in sports, both of them big sports fans, and you see John 3:16 behind the catchers in a lot of venues, maybe not this day and age, but used to. And for even if there's one person out there, just one person listening and is confused, John 3:16 says, for God so loved the world that he gave his one and only Son, that whoever believes in him shall not perish but have eternal life. So DJT just keeps on joking the worldly, look, I don't know if I'm going to get to heaven. You're going to get to heaven if you believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. He died on the cross. He rose 3 days later, and you believe that he ascended into heaven. You're going to heaven. So I've heard this 3 or 4 times.
Clip
so
that.
Just in
Clip
case.
that. Put it in. Send it to the White House. No,
That's right. Do you know what I'm saying, Jeff? You probably kind of hit you too.
Well, I mean,
little bit.
that's Trump, and I think Trump is kind of old guard religion. He reminds me of some of my family members that
Same here.
recognize the value of religion. Like he gets it. But it hasn't necessarily become a personal commitment for him, which is a problem. It's something that he needs to address. But I do. Here's a concern I have, and it has to do with Hamas and Israel. If religion's just something that you see as nice, something that is additive to your life, you can miss how deep it can go for people. And that's the concern I have over the Hamas-Israel stuff, because he did look, after 3,000 years, we've gotten to peace. And I'm like, whoa, hold on, brother. I've walked with Palestinian protests. I spent 3 days with them at the DNC. That hatred of Israel and the Jews, that is really deep.
Yes.
That is not something that you just peace deal or economics is going to overcome it. And if you believe what the Bible teaches and the fact that these clash of civilizations are going to continue until Christ returns, it's going to get worse in some capacities. So that's my concern over the peace deal is like, look, for those Hamas Palestinians, that hatred goes so deep that I don't think economic opportunity is going to necessarily cover it.
Oh, that is a great point, and you have a great perspective. You really do from that. So I'm glad I'm not the only one. I know there have been plenty of people cringe in the past 3 or 4 days, but we get it. We understand, and I just don't want anyone to be confused. Hey, the Dodgers.
I love the fact that you're that direct. Do it on the show, man.
I mean,
look, we're all going to face
that
judgment. We're all going to face that judgment. And we want to provide the way for you to salvation. So,
well, and you hear it all the time, family and friends. Well, I'm not that great a person. Look, let me tell you something. You don't want to go to hell, okay? And we are all sinners. We have fallen short all of us have fallen short of the glory of God. And get down on your knees and thank God right now and tell him you believe that he had a son, his only begotten son, Jesus Christ, and he did all this for us. So you don't want to go down that road.
Preach.
Right? Amen. Here we go. Have a great day. Dodgers beat the Brew Crew 5-1 and lead the NLCS 2-0. Avalanche at the Blue Jackets tomorrow at 5. NBA preseason Nuggets over the Bulls 124-117 last night. 51 in Parker, 49 in Golden, 52 in Denver. Jeff and Patty continue.
The trans issue has destroyed the gays. This trans issue is just a joke. And that's what you should have said to that poor guy. Because I know gays that went through it 40 years ago. They were locked up because they were at a gay bar, for Christ's sake. The gays have paid a price.
Barney, bringing it again. Blake Olson, News Talk 710 KNUS.
Your 7:10 5-day forecast, clear and starry skies starting off our Wednesday. Lows tonight will be in the upper 40s. With sunshine Wednesday afternoon, we'll hit the upper 70s with breezy winds. Some increasing clouds Wednesday night might have a slight chance for a shower. Lows going to be upper 40s. Thursday going to be cooling off, low and mid-60s. Scattered showers and a few thunderstorms. Sunshine returns Friday and Saturday. Highs mid-60s, lows low 40s. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Bill's out this week. Patricia Calhoun, founder, editor of Westward, sitting live with me in studio. It's been an absolutely fantastic show. It's flown by because you're just fountains of Denver knowledge. It's so much fun. We can talk to you about politics, history, music, restaurants, the scene, the art scene, all that. It's almost like you should create a alt weekly magazine that covers all those things.
I know. I was just looking at what we put, our big stories of yesterday, which is quite the wide range.
Yeah. I mean, it was everything from Kristi Noem out at the airport and her videos to...
Her videos, which aren't showing, not because of politics, but because they don't have audio on those screens, which no one seems to be following.
Oops. Sorry, Madam Secretary.
Not that we know if they did have audio, would they show them? But they're not. The No Kings rally is a big one.
Coming
but
up
so is
Saturday.
So are 2 restaurants opening on Colfax. And by the way, if the Colfax person is still listening, there's a meeting tomorrow night at Champagne Tiger at 6. That's at Washington on Colfax about what's going on there.
All right. Go to westward.com to get all the latest news from them. Let's go to the phone lines. Gary in Thornton. Good morning, Gary. You're on with Jeff and Patty.
Good morning, Jeff and Patty.
Morning.
Hey, I just got some to try to help people understand the economics of the immigration, because there is people coming legally. We do have an immigration system, right? So I want to tell people this to try to understand. The United States is a big convenience store next to a high school. You could only let 2 at a time, or else that convenience store would just run down. You would have to close it in a matter of time, because it's not set up to take all that stuff. So I don't understand. It's such simple issues. And then these people coming, I mean, Venezuela is oil. It's a rich nation. So I feel sorry for these people that are coming that need that, but you can't have people go against people, and it's wrong for our governments to be doing this. And I just wish people would just wake up. I mean, there's systems to stuff. Our country's been assaulted since its inception, and we're seeing the end run of that right now.
Well, Gary,
we got to fight back to keep it.
If you remember, I mean, Hugo Chavez came into Venezuela and had tremendous wealth and tremendous opportunity, and it was nationalizing all of that and those progressive leftist policies that absolutely destroyed that country, and it's heartbreaking to see. Gary and Patricia...
And they had his bust in the White House. How come they didn't have a Louisville Slugger bat with it? Because they need to tell the people what he used to do to the illegals.
Are you're talking about Hugo Chavez?
Yes.
Oh, really? I didn't know that he beat the people that tried to get into his country.
No, when they were here in the farms. Not Hugo Chavez, not the president. Cesar Chavez. I got
Cesar. Oh, okay, yeah.
I got it mixed up.
I was going, wow, I'm so lost here. But I do want to ask you two guys these questions. Patricia and Gary, how do you think Denver's going to change, Colorado's going to change under Trump's immigration enforcement? Do you see changes happening to Denver since he became president? Patricia, go first, please.
I can't speak to that.
Yeah,
I can speak to it. I think discussion has become far less civil. So on just one level, people on all sides of an issue tend to be less polite, less accepting. So I would like us to have more discussion. And I say they are taking that, they're taking a key from Washington, D.C., where you do not exactly have kind discussion. I mean, we were talking about it off air. When you have Donald Trump called John McCain a loser because he was a Vietnamese hostage. I mean, you have to really start having discussions where you can be civil with each other and agree to disagree.
Now, Mitt Romney just this last few weeks said that the Biden prosecution of Trump was a big mistake. He thinks that was a tipping point, and now you're going to get this tit for tat using the FBI to go after your political opponents type of thing. Do you think that was a mistake?
Well, I think we're seeing the ramifications now, certainly with James Comey. So I think Romney was right in the sense not that Trump didn't do things that were illegal or should have been investigated, but we're seeing their end result now, which is you can indeed weaponize the Justice Department.
Gary, appreciate the phone call. Thanks so much.
Hey,
Gary, go ahead real quick. Do you have one more thing you want to say?
Don't forget my statement, though. You can't overrun something because it will fail. And we hear all this talk about, oh, he's a bad president. I think they're doing exactly what they want to do. They want to collapse our way of life for whatever new thing they want, and it's plain as day. I mean, it's easy to see.
Gary Thornton, appreciate the call. Thanks so much. Let's go to Rusty, Denver. Good morning, Rusty. You're on with Jeff and Patricia.
Well, I have a lot of things I could say, but I'll start with the No Kings. I think the timing is hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious, and it just shows how ludicrous the whole thing is. Less than 2 weeks after Trump brokered this peace deal, they're going to have a protest and talk about what a horrible president he is. I'm just going to be laughing at them, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, Rusty, you're making the point that these protests aren't landing. I mean, they're just right.
Well, they didn't land the first time. Why after this? Why does anybody think it's going to land the second time? Why don't they get in a room and try and figure something out that they can support the president on? There's got to be something, but there's just a knee-jerk reaction. I hate Trump, and my wife is that way, and I feel really bad. But it just is, and we have to work together. Trump's a duly elected president, and it's on him to do what he thinks is the right thing to do, that his voters supported him for, as long as it's within the law. And so far, he hasn't been found to be outside the law. There are a lot of cases pending, and to my knowledge, I think he's won virtually every one that's gone to the Supreme Court. So, folks, just calm down and let it happen.
But, Rusty, to that point, I think that, one, this becomes cathartic for some of the voters in Colorado. I've noticed this. Like, they take time to build signs. They go down there with their families in some cases, and it becomes a form of cathartic political engagement for them. But what do you think? Well, I mean, look at the voter of Colorado and the direction of it. Colorado's facing serious problems. It's got crime issues. It's got debt issues. It's got all that. Donald Trump is actually building things, getting peace in some capacities, but it doesn't seem to connect with Denver voters. I mean, or Colorado voters. I'm
sick about it, and honestly, with respect, I think your co-host has a little bit to do with that. Westward's politics has been very interesting, very left-wing. And, honestly, I don't think Westward would be in business if it wasn't for marijuana legalization, because 2/3 of it is marijuana ads.
Do you want to respond to that? Let's let her respond. Go ahead, Rusty.
Yeah, sure.
Patricia Calhoun, go ahead.
Well, marijuana's been legal for 13 years.
I know.
Westward has been going for.
Hold on, let her talk.
Westward has been going for. Westward's been going for 48 years. But I will say, right, and we would be going without marijuana legalization too. But I will say this: political protest and the ability to speak your mind in this country has been celebrated for 250 years.
Oh, sure.
We're about to have a major celebration of it. If you were around for the protests in the 60s, early 60s, the late 60s, 70s, they did make a difference. Now, will these make a difference? We'll see. But for people to be able to go out and protest Trump, I think there's several things you can protest about Trump, aside from brokering peace, which is a very different issue, and knock on wood that holds.
Yeah. You know what's funny, Patricia? You said 48 years. So did Westward start in 77?
Yes.
That's the year Colorado went to hell, because that's the year I moved here.
Well, then you and me both, buddy. I moved here then, too.
Rusty, thank you.
How old were you when you started Westward?
23.
Gosh, you were just a kid
exactly
right out of college.
I moved here when I was 22. Anyway, I just, I'm sick about the direction Colorado's gone in, and it's mostly outside money. I mean, what was that? Project Blue, it was called, that Polis and whoever else did.
That was inside money. Those people were Coloradans.
Well, no, there was a lot of big money coming in from outside, but Polis, one person, and to his political credit, that one person, he made a lot of difference in the state and turning it blue with money, which the Democrats are always bitching about. Money in politics. And look at it. It's not a grassroots situation that happened in Colorado.
Rusty, Denver, sure, appreciate the call. Patty, as we wrap up here, we've got about 30 more minutes, and we could take some more phone calls. But tell me about the direction of Colorado and Denver. Are you happy with the direction it's going these days? If there's things that need to change, what needs to change?
Well, I started with the civil discourse, which I believe strongly in. As I said, we get comments all the time. You get comments, and they have become a lot uglier on all sides of an issue, not just with us, but other people. We need to be able to sit down and talk to each other and agree there are certain things we love. And I would say in Colorado, people talk about loving the outdoors, wanting to protect the outdoors. We all differentiate. We all are different on what we would do. Would we allow oil and gas drilling? Would we lock that up? I mean, there are different issues, but we need to have discussions of this. What do we do with water? What do we do with sprawl? Sprawl will return again. There's going to be a lot of building again. So we have important discussions that we can have that focus on Colorado, and we need to do that. Same thing goes for Denver and any municipality. We need to have real conversations in Denver. We were talking about restaurants and the whole issue that came up with the legislature last year, which gave municipalities the right to be able to decide, did they want to change the tip credit, which affects restaurants with the minimum wage issue. That was passed. Boulder, I'm trying to remember, Edgewater, Denver, you can make those changes, but no one in Denver is right now. So that's a big thing for restaurants. We need to, all politics is local is one of the terms, and I think locally we need to really focus on what we can do in our own backyard to make changes. And we focus on local news. That's what we do.
Yeah. And you've seen the state over since 77, so 48 years now. The sense I get from you is something similar that I get from Ted Trimpa, which is that there needs to be a correction in some capacities. It has gone maybe too progressive in a certain direction, and it's not the Colorado that we're used to. Is that a fair assessment?
I think in some ways. I would also say what we need to do is look at cause and effect. If we do this, what will happen? Yeah. And I think with the migrants, we didn't have enough time with the amount of money that was poured in initially to say, if we do this, what will happen? And people didn't look to see sales revenues were dropping, sales tax revenues were dropping so fast. Denver's economic problems kind of took people by surprise, and they shouldn't have. Same with the state economic problems. So it's cause and effect. We really need to talk as a state and a city, where do we want to go? Mm-hmm.
But where we are now is not, we've had 10 years of Democrat leadership of this state. So that's what I'm trying to understand is, like I said to Ted, you've gotten everything you guys want. Is Colorado thriving?
But you're also not in a vacuum. You have COVID. 5 years ago, what hit this country, and people are still coming back from it. So no, I would say we don't have the Colorado we want. When have we ever? Yeah. So can we get to a better Colorado? Can we get to a better Denver? Can we imagine and make a great city?
That's Patricia Calhoun. She's the editor-in-chief of Westward. We'll continue our conversation and get to the phone lines. You're listening to The Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS.
Wake up, Denver. There's no better place to start your morning than IHOP, where the pancakes are fluffy, the coffee is hot, and the smiles are endless. Wednesday, October 22nd, join Jeff and Bill as they broadcast their show live from IHOP at 9565 South University Boulevard in Highlands Ranch. You're officially invited to be part of the excitement. Come grab your favorite breakfast and watch the Jeff and Bill Show in action from 6 to 10 a.m. Don't forget to try the special Jeff and Bill breakfast. Pancakes, any style eggs, and crispy bacon, all for just $7.10. It's a deal as good as their hot takes. All they need is you. Bring your appetite, bring your friends, and kick off your day with great food and great conversation. See you Wednesday, October 22nd at IHOP.
Welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Bill's out this week. Co-hosting with me is Patricia Calhoun today. She's the editor-in-chief of Westward, that institution here in Colorado. Now, I have to, we should totally go here because I was like the leading guy against pot in Colorado, and everybody knows that Westward has pot advertisements. Do you think marijuana commercialization's been good for Colorado?
I don't think it's been the horror that people say it has been. And as you look at how the industry is shaking out, it's kind of going the way craft beer went. And I don't think craft beer was horrible for Colorado. You know, it's now stabilized kind of into an industry that's not a fad. That's what's happening with cannabis. We were among the first, but look at how many states have legalized it now. I think the bigger issues that are going to come are going to be certainly what medical help there really is in marijuana and with other psychedelics. That's going to be a big issue now that we have decriminalized psilocybin products. Yeah. But I think if you look at it, we're going to ban vape products in Denver. I just find flavored vape. Keep it in perspective. Yeah. Flavored vapes.
Right. So what's always concerned me about this, I believe this is probably the most controversial statement I ever make. All right, it makes people's heads explode. Okay, prohibition works. Okay, and the reason I believe prohibition works is we prohibit fentanyl. It's 100,000 deaths a year in America. We commercialize tobacco. It's 400,000 deaths a year in America. And that doesn't kill you overnight. So what concerns me is when you bring the power of the free market and the capitalistic system to an addictive drug that is naturally motivated to get more and more consumers. So what was kind of sold for marijuana was, well, we don't want to put people in jail for having a joint in their pocket. I'm like, well, that's fine. We could talk about that. But what you're actually doing is commercializing a product with companies that are incentivized to get more and more consumers of it. And that's going to have impact on our communities. That's why you have more marijuana-related traffic fatalities or higher health care costs associated with it. Yeah. So what's always concerned me is the commercialization of these drugs.
Was prohibition of alcohol a success?
Yes, it was.
You think so? Mm-hmm. Okay. I would say with marijuana, if you look at the new current tests, teen consumption is going down. So education is going up. That's important. If we find medical use, and certainly I know many people who are using marijuana medically, and that has helped them, and that is only working. That's only happening because it's legal now. So yeah, there are bumpy roads, and you got to work through it. And it is bad that capitalism will find a way, just as it will find a way with tobacco.
This is why I'm also opposed to sports gambling. Have you guys gotten into that? Are they advertising on Westward?
You know, there's some, not much on that, but we did. You can't believe we're not giving more money to the water plan when you see how these places are raking it in. Yeah. And to go back to the start of marijuana in Colorado, you know, a lot of this was going to be the mom and pops, kind of like gambling in Central City and Cripple Creek and Blackhawk. And Blackhawk immediately blew through that rule, the local mom and pops in historic buildings, and that's why you see those crazy, crazy casinos now. If limited stakes gaming had been kept at that mom and pop level, would these historic towns have been doing better? I mean, it's cause and effect. It's really how these things are implemented that is the issue.
And I think we're on the cusp of a pending disaster. I think I saw something like half of college-aged males are engaged in sports gambling right now because of how much it's promoted.
That's crazy.
And that is going to create a major problem for us. All right, let's go to the phone lines. Ben Morrison, good morning. You're on with Patricia and Jeff.
Yeah, can you hear me?
We got you.
Yeah, I think Republicans are going to keep losing until they start moderating themselves. I don't think, running this MAGA extremist sort of level campaign is going to do any benefit to them. There's a lot of people that are independent or kind of in the moderate level that could swing to the right, given right candidates. But right now, everything has been so far like just sycophantic acolyte Trump level that most people in Colorado don't want that. They really don't want that. So until you abandon that ideology, I don't think people are going to go for it.
Trump's pretty moderate on abortion issues, for instance, gay marriage issues. So what's the moderation that you'd like to see policy-wise? Otherwise, it's just kind of personality.
It's not just personality. It's, for example, giving huge enormous tax cuts to the rich, where he abandons a lot of people in the middle class. Like, he's lying basically about where, healthcare is going. He's saying all this money is going to illegal immigrants. It's not. Just like there's a lot of fraudulent stuff that's going on. And yeah, he is a person that's pretty criminal. He's saying, yeah, we need to justify. He's basically creating legal warfare against his opponents right now, and he actually did crimes. Whereas
how many of the Biden administration have had their mug shots taken?
I don't think any thus far, but Trump committed crimes, so yeah.
And Trump
he got caught.
and his administration, Mark Meadows, for instance, deserved to have his mugshot taken. Jenna Ellis, 19 members of Trump's administration had their mugshots taken.
Yeah, a lot of them committed crimes. I mean, he just pardoned, 1,600 people from January 6th? I mean, we have those people on camera throwing fire extinguishers at cops, crushing people indoors, like assaulting police officers, and they got pardoned.
So back to your original point, this seems to be more personality driven, because I gave you examples where Trump was moderate on issues and you went back to Trump's personality. So if Republicans, it seems to me that you're not interested in moderate policies. You're more interested in a personality change.
Attacking the free press is a moderate policy?
I'm asking you what Republicans should moderate on in order to win here in Colorado.
Healthcare. First of all.
Okay, what should they do on health care?
They should do what the Democrats are proposing right now and extend the Obama subsidies and keep the status quo.
So you think single-payer health care, if Republicans gotten support of single-payer health care, that voters in Colorado would vote for them?
I think that would be beneficial. I also think that...
Beneficial to what? I'm asking you if they would vote. You think that would be beneficial to them winning more votes if they supported single-payer health care?
Yes, okay. Absolutely. Yeah. I don't think healthcare should be a for-profit industry. I think it should be something that, because it's not like other services. Like if I get a stroke, for example, I don't get to call the ambulance company and figure out what ambulance I want to get, what hospital I want to go to, read reviews or anything like that. I just call 911 and they're going to take me wherever I'm going to go. That's how that works.
You think that's a good system? You like that? Because I don't. Why wouldn't I want to have a choice? Like, where else in my life does the government stepping in and saying, you're going this direction, we choose for you, is a good thing?
Me and the rest of the developed world have already agreed that this is a better system. And every time we talk with anybody that's international, yes, pretty much every single developed nation in the world.
They're waiting forever for their health care.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, we wait forever too. If you have an elective surgery,
you just told me you got to go into an ambulance and go straight to the hospital.
That's exactly how it works in other countries too. If you call 911 or 999 in the UK, they'll take you straight over to the hospital too. Well, that's cute, Jeff. That you don't have your facts straight.
Ben, I don't think that if Republicans all of a sudden embraced Obamacare, they'd start winning elections in Colorado. I just don't see it. But Ben, I appreciate the call. We got to get to a break. Let's talk Dan Caplis with Dan Caplis Law. Dan suggests you should choose a lawyer who shares your values, because who you choose to represent you in an injury case says a lot about you to everyone involved in the case. Dan Caplis, the son of a police officer and a former seminarian who's dedicated the last 40 years of his life to helping people who are hurt in serious motor vehicle crashes. He's delivered real justice for the people of Colorado, and he's liked across the state. Dan is believed to be the only lawyer in Colorado history to win 5 straight multi-million-dollar verdicts in Colorado crash cases. Dan is also believed to have won the largest truck crash verdict in Colorado state history. Dan Caplis Law is the official law firm partner of the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. Dan Caplis Law is a serious firm for serious cases. Dan accepts righteous injury cases on a percentage fee basis so that he can represent good people from all walks of life without regard to ability to pay. So if you need Dan's help, give him a call. 303-770-5551, 303-770-5551, or hit dancaplisLaw.com. That's Dan, C-A-P-L-I-S Law.com. Well, Patty, we figured it out. Republicans just need to embrace Obamacare, then everything works out. We start getting elected.
There is no question. This health care issue is going to become, it's already huge.
Yep.
With the shutdown, it's going to get huger. So this is, there are many challenges ahead. Let's just say that.
But didn't Obamacare, I thought it was supposed to fix it. I don't know. All right.
Well, it's kind of hard with the government shutdown for anything to be fixed.
And I go back and forth. You want to hand your healthcare decisions to those people in Washington, D.C., regardless of what party you're in, right or left. They're the ones who get to control this all. All right, we're having a ton of fun. We're going to wrap. You're listening to the Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710 KNUS. All right, welcome back to the Jeff and Bill Show. Bill's out. Patricia Calhoun, editor-in-chief, founder of Westward's, live in studio with me. She's done a fantastic job. This is one of the fastest shows I've ever done. I've had so much fun with you.
It's been a pleasure.
I'm going to ask you probably the most offensive question I could ask you at the very end of the show here. It's just going to be like trying to choose.
Well, you just compared me to Trump, so.
in the sense that you have tremendous capacity. Because she's been managing the magazine, taking calls, and being on the radio show all at the same time. It's amazing. This is probably the most offensive question I could ask you. And it's going to be like trying to choose between which one's your favorite child, right? Restaurant recommendations, where at the end of the show, where would you send people to go eat? You got the best of Denver on your website. What are some of your favorites?
Well, as you can see from what I talk about, I love history. I love being in the center of the town. I would say if you've never been to my brother's bar, you have to go there. Oldest operating bar building. It's from the 1870s. Obviously, it took a break during Prohibition. It's gone through different owners. Right at the 15th and Platte, no sign on the wall, great bar burgers. If you've never been there, I mean, Jack Kerouac went there. Neil Cassidy, his inspiration was there. Great history, great place.
My brother's bar I've never even heard of before.
Oh, come on.
I've never even heard of my brother's bar.
So the Karagas brothers...
Even Adam's telling me I'm
The
crazy.
Karagas brothers from Detroit moved here in the late 60s. They bought the Wazee Supper Club, which had been going for a long time at 15th and Wazee. It's now gone. But then they opened my brother's bar, too. It was Paul's Place, I think, at the time. It might have had a different name. But they didn't know what to name it, and bill collectors would come in and say, who owns this bar? You owe us money. And they go, oh, it's my brother's bar. And that name stuck. So if you haven't been there, right in that very booming part of town right now, great history.
Fantastic. Do you think the Buckhorn Exchange is going to survive all the changes that are going to happen right around it?
Oh, it's going to do very well with all the changes right around it. Also down in this neck of the woods, Castle, another great burger bar at Arapahoe and Broadway. I don't want you to think I'm only downtown.
Have you ever thought of doing like a double-decker bus tour where people get to sit and you just get to tell people stories all around Denver?
No, because I'm doing this radio show instead.
I think that would be a lot of fun. I would pay for that. I would absolutely.
How much would you pay?
I'd pay $50.
All right, we'll think about that.
Yeah,
I'm doing it with you and Bill for free.
You've offered to take Bill and I around, which is
I'm got
to take up on that because as we got to see today on the show, you are a gem here in Denver.
We'll go to my brother's bar, and then I'll take you to the new Mezcal bar, too.
Mezcal, and that's
Mezcal.
like mezcal. Mm-hmm. That's like tequila.
Agave. It's an agave spirit, and it's booming right now in Denver.
So Patty Calhoun, Bill Thorpe, Jeff Hunt, all full of mezcal. That'll be fun.
Dangerous.
If you missed any of the show, go download the podcast. Thank you so much, Patricia. You've been listening to The Jeff and Bill Show, News Talk 710, KNUS.